and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. President Muhammadu Buhari is scheduled to formally unveil the Nigerian Central Bank Digital Currency (CBDC), known as the e-Naira, on Monday, 25th October 2021 at the State House, Abuja. The launch of the e-Naira is a culmination of several years of research work by the Central Bank of Nigeria in advancing the boundaries of payment system in order to make financial transactions easier and seamless for every strata of the society. Osita Nisobi, Director of Corporate Communications of the CBN, in a statement said the e-Naira marks a major step forward in the evolution of money, and the Apex Bank is committed to ensuring that the e-Naira, like the physical Naira, is accessible to everyone. Amending the 1999 Constitution, tax laws, and developing the fiscal capacity of all levels of government to promote equity in the allocation of federal revenue are some of the recommendations made at a public lecture on taxing powers in a federal system in Abuja. Professor Abiola Sani of the University of Lagos, who delivered the lecture, also advocated a standard framework for taxing and revenue collection for the country. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chinwuba has more.
Professor Abiola Sani said there is no clarity in tax power under the 1999 Constitution as to what each level should collect, given the tax variance. He recommended the setting up of a multidisciplinary study group to interrogate diversification of tax revenue by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission as a matter of urgency.
I said taxes and levies, approved list of collection, should be abolished. There should be concurrent use of broad-based taxes like income and consumption.
Discussants profiled divergent views, ranging from designation of a tax revenue sharing formula that balances charity and reward to enable states cater for their needs, to definition of taxing powers of the state, and moving beyond debate and joining the world in allocating taxing powers to cross-border transactions on digital giants.
We need a federal system that both the center and the units can grow and survive, have enough space for self-expression.
We'll be able to look into them and then make sure they are part of the decisions we will take on constitutional amendments.
What's the position of the fiscal federalism? The issue of VAT is just an aspect.
The lecture was in honor of Ahmed Raji SAN, who turned 60.
I believe the time has come for us to introduce wealth tax in this country, so that out of the plenty that some people have, there's a shed some to assist the very, very poor ones.
Justices of the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, and Federal High Court were among the guests. In Abuja, Vera Chinwuba, NTA News.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State advocates declaration of state of emergency on security as panacea to addressing the persistent security challenges in the country. The governor stated this at the opening of third quarter General Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assembly holding in Katsina. Awal Haliru reports.
The theme of the conference is the menace of insecurity in the country and the roles of state assemblies to restore peace and order. This is with the hope that the legislative frameworks in the country at the state level will complement the efforts of the federal government in addressing insecurity situations.
This is the time, therefore, that all hands must be on deck to fight the menace of insecurity for the good of our nation.
I therefore seize this opportunity to call on all the dear colleagues for a diligent and robust participation in the procedure.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari reiterates that security agencies are doing their best to bring an end to the persistent insecurity challenges.
I wish to call on the federal government to declare emergency on the nation's security in order to bring an end to loss of lives and properties across the state.
Today's conference will enable the speakers from the state assemblies across the country to discuss and chart a way forward on the menace of insecurity. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
And from Katsina again comes a report that a special prayer session to complement the successes being recorded in the fight against security challenges affecting some parts of the state has held. Dauda Muhammad reports that the prayer session, which is the first since the signing of the Security Challenges Containment Order, was attended by Governor Aminu Bello Masari.
Recently, the Insecurity Challenges Containment Order put in place by the state government to address issues of banditry, kidnapping and other crimes has crippled activities of criminals in Katsina State. To sustain the gains, a special prayer was organized with a host of Islamic scholars, elder statesmen, government officials, including the state governor, Aminu Bello Masari, and members of the State Executive Council in attendance. While seeking God's intercession in security challenges, speakers at the prayer session, including the Katsina State Chief Judge, Justice Musa Danladi Abubakar, call on members of the public to cooperate with security agents at all times to ensure lasting peace in the state.
We are praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us and guide us and give us the wisdom to come up with policies and actions that will usher in permanent peace.
We feel we should use it as an occasion to show to God we are grateful.
The special prayer session is the first to be held since the Insecurity Challenges Containment Order was put in place 2 months ago. In Katsina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army Education Corps Second National Summit 2021 has provided an opportunity for participants to discuss challenges bordering on educational development and national security. Emir of Argungu, Samaila Muhammad Mera, stated this at the closing of the 3-day summit in Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Dati reports.
The monarch said the summit proffered workable and achievable solutions to identified problems which would assist in national security. He expressed optimism that the outcome of the summit shall assist surmount the contemporary challenges facing the education sector and maintain the corporate existence of the country. Samaila Mera maintained that the contemporary security challenges are injurious to national economy, necessitating joint effort and synergy to mitigate these challenges. Co-Commander Education Major General Muhammad Lawal Augi noted that it is through education that one learns to think critically and find solutions to human challenges. General Augi emphasized that security, economic, social, and political stability of the nation depends on the provision and delivery of quality education. The co-commander expressed the belief that the book to be produced from the 2 papers and 10 lectures delivered at the summit will serve as working documents to assist in the development of Nigeria's education. Her point at the occasion was question and answer session as well as presentation of awards to deserving personalities. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbeshola, has vowed that security men will pursue and recapture all inmates who escaped from the Abolongo Custodial Center of the Nigeria Correctional Service Friday night. The inmates of the Correctional Center escaped during a vicious attack on the facility by yet-to-be-identified gunmen. Giving more details about those who escaped, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbeshola, who was at the center Sunday afternoon, noted that 446 out of the 907 escapees have been recaptured, while 69 never left the facility. He called on citizens with useful information on the perpetrators of the dastardly acts and escaped inmates to inform the nearest law enforcement agency to them. Details of the visit will come in our subsequent bulletin. Adiola is in our Lagos studio and she has the next set of reports on Nationwide. Good evening, Adiola. It's over to you.
Good evening, Aya. Thank you. Although Nigeria has been certified polio-free by the World Health Organization, Medical experts advise that just like COVID-19, polio remains a virus to be conquered by the world. Annie Daniels has details.
Polio is a virus that affects children below age 5. Its effect is very visible because it affects the bones, thereby leading to the crippling of its victims.
Someone who has polio uses the restroom, and then maybe doesn't sanitize his hands properly, opens the door using the doorknob, and then someone else comes back to use that same doorknob. If the virus had settled on that doorknob, what happens? So this virus can be picked up by this uninfected individual.
The eradication of polio has remained the earnest desire of world governments, translating to aggressive awareness campaign for polio vaccine administered to children below age 5. Available statistics by the World Health Organization shows that between 2016 and 2019, the number of polio cases in Nigeria fluctuated, and today the country has been certified polio-free.
With the mass campaign and door-to-door campaign being done by the government, and even at the federal, the state, the local level, well-meaning individuals, healthcare, the surveillance that's going on actually helps a lot.
Dr. Ajayi wants that, given the nature of transmission of polio through foods and drinks contaminated with infected feces, coupled with the symptomless state of the infected person, Nigerians should be on guard. With health workers still overwhelmed with COVID-19 management, the theme of this year's Polio Day is delivering on a promise. It is to celebrate the reduction of polio virus to 99% world over with the help of the polio vaccine. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
For the Nigerian society to acquaint itself well as being fair to people living with disabilities, especially Down syndrome, there must be a general mental shift which recognizes that those living with the condition are special and unique rather than cursed. This was the dominant line of thought at a seminar organized to mark Down Syndrome Awareness Month in Lagos. Diana Ajale has more.
To caregivers and persons living with Down syndrome, the month of October is unique as it has been set aside globally to raise awareness on their condition as well as promote social inclusion of those living with the condition. Bimbola Olowojolu is the mother of 16-year-old Ayomide. She says adequate attention and proper care is all that persons living with Down syndrome need to live a normal life.
Everything that could help him, I go out to do it. You know, I don't talk to him like it's not normal. I talk to him like a normal child because I have other children too.
At 34, Awele Modi has done well for herself as an entrepreneur with variety of products to her credit. Speaking on the theme for this year's celebration, Leave No One Behind, the President, Down Syndrome Foundation, Rose Modi, says it is time for the society to see the uniqueness of people living with Down syndrome in better light and connect with them.
We are advocating for proper inclusion through connection, that we all, the society, must begin to connect with people with intellectual disability.
There's this cultural environment that surrounds our approach to intellectual disability that may not be helping. So we need to look at that.
I'm telling you today, there's a lot of potentials in these children, but you have not tapped into it. I believe so much in the children with disability because I'm seeing potentials in them.
The seminar also brainstormed on the way forward, especially in the area of achieving better implementation of laws affecting people with disabilities. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
It's now time for us to take our first break, but when we return, Aya will take over for more stories on Nationwide. Thank you for joining us.
Federal government through NPHCDA commenced phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family.
From history, is history. So either you know it or you don't.
My advice to the younger generation is that they should learn from what we have started and what we have left.
I did things that ordinarily I should not have been doing. What that meant was that I was working hard.
Whatever assignment you are given in life, put in your best.
The military years were a disaster.
Smoldering effects of all that is what we are trying to cure.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let's continue with health-related stories following President Muhammadu Buhari's assent to the bill establishing the National Blood Service Commission. Nigerians can now access safe blood in all parts of the country. Sponsor of the bill and member House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, while briefing the press, described the act as an important milestone in the health sector. Speaking alongside Director General of the Commission, Dr. Omale Joseph, the lawmaker says maternal mortality due to blood loss will also be reduced.
Who in his wisdom has accepted to ascend this bill. We believe things will get better and better as far as the blood transfusion sector of Nigeria is concerned.
There has to be a system where blood will be provided safe and of high quality. Again, without legal provision to enable the implementation of blood services, it is very difficult to regulate, to provide and to regulate and to coordinate. So that is why the National Blood Service Commission bill, which is now an act, is very important to the development of health in Nigeria.
The Commission plans to collaborate with the Federal Road Safety Corps for prompt service in the event of an accident to save lives. As part of efforts to bring vital healthcare services to the doorsteps of rural communities, Zamfara State Government has constructed a 300-bed capacity general hospital in Birni Magaji local government area of the state. Jamilu Ibrahim reports that the hospital, equipped with modern health facilities, has been inaugurated amid tremendous applause by people in the area.
The construction of the new General Hospital Birni Magaji in Zamfara State is one of the major projects in the health sector inherited by Governor Bello Muhammad from the immediate past administration. Dr. Bashir Maru, who inspected various sections of the hospital and the equipment installed therein, said the state government will deploy more personnel to the health facility for it to function effectively.
The hospital is now 100% completed with all the equipment that is needed. Some of the equipment that are here, they are some of the latest anywhere you can find in the world.
The Birni Magaji local government sole administrator Alhaji Kabiru Ladan Megoro expressed gratitude to Governor Bello Muhammad for completing the project, which has brought the vital healthcare services to the doorsteps of people in the area.
This is the only general hospital we have in the local government, so it will help them and to cater their health needs.
Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Salisu Birni Magaji, commended the state government for the provision of the state-of-the-art equipment and the conducive environment for the smooth operation of the health facility. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
World Health Organization reports shows that breast cancer is the second most common cancer in the world, especially in women. In recognizing the seriousness of the condition, the Medical Women's Association is sensitizing women on early detection and preventive measures. Ifeanyi Ezumba has the details.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month
An international health campaign, which lasts through the month of October, is intended to increase global awareness of breast cancer. The International Agency for Research in Cancer estimated that there were more than 2.26 million new cases and almost 685,000 deaths worldwide.
We want people to have confidence to talk to others about their health status, and we should ask our parents. We shouldn't be too far away or too busy to check them because, they took care of us when they were younger.
The national president, Deaf Women Association of Nigeria, Helen Beyoko Alase, says the deaf women have for so long been in the dark concerning cervical and breast cancer and have not had good access to health care.
Sadly, it's been long since it's just me taking the risks, because in the hospitals there's no access to health care because there are no interpreters there. We try to talk to people and beg them to come to the aid of deaf women so they'll be able to access health care because it's a big challenge.
There was interactive session with the women on how to examine their breasts for early diagnosis and prevention of the cervical and breast cancer. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NT News.
To also mark the World Polio Day in Abuja, a book titled So They Can Walk on polio eradication, written by Professor of History, Professor Christopher Bankole in the BC, has been launched. Basi Ita Ipan tells us about the book presentation in Abuja, which is part of activities for the event.
Poliomyelitis is a life-threatening viral illness that spreads through contaminated food and water. It is said to be the most severe symptoms of paralysis, which can lead to permanent disability, breathing difficulty, and can also lead to death. Nigeria, in August 25, 2020, through sustained and concerted efforts of government and other partners, joined the League of Countries certified wild polio-free. This journey and the need to sustain a polio-free status is the essence of this book.
We wanted to put in the book how it all started, how we were involved, how the partnership came up, how we woke up one day in Rotary and we look at it and we say, we see something that can be done. And we laid it and we said, let's get partners and let's give a gift to the children of the world.
Part of the partnership we are seeking with you to advocate for parents and caregivers to continue taking their children to healthcare centers to have their routine immunization and to open their doors to vaccinators when they go house to house from time to time.
And you can do it, and you have done it. Wild polio does not exist in Nigeria or Africa, and that has a lot to do with the Rotary Club.
The 7-chapter book, which provides an in-depth analysis of polio and its impact, is aimed at ensuring continuous resource supply to keep polio at zero in the country and out of the world.
The book is in a very rare area of historical studies, medical history.
Rotary kits were on hand to appreciate government and partners for giving them a polio-free world. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
Latest figures by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 159 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. A breakdown indicates that Kaduna State has 47 cases, which is the highest, followed by Enugu with 44. Benue has 36, Delta 10, Lagos 7 and Plateau 5. Others are Rivers 3, Nasarawa 2, while Bauchi, Bayelsa, Edo, Jigawa and Kano have 1 case each. The 159 new cases bring the total number of confirmed cases to 210,295, out of which 198,191 cases have been discharged, with 2,856 persons dead so far. Kaduna is our next port of call, where Suleiman is waiting to give us reports from that zone. Good evening, Suleiman.
Good evening, Ayodeji, and welcome to Kaduna Network Center.
As the Kaduna State government steps up with measures to regulate preachings, Jama'at Nasrul Islam says restoration of family and community values of respect and mutual trust will assist in curbing religious extremism. This resonates at a public lecture on curbing religious extremism held at Ario House, Kaduna. The Quran, revealed as divine message of peace, love, and piety centuries ago, but being misinterpreted in some quarters due to immoderation and extremism. This is why these scholars, public office holders, and legal luminaries converge on Ario House, Kaduna to brainstorm on causes of such misinterpretations with a view to profiling recommendations on ways out.
Are we going to be moderate, or we are going to be immoderate?
Speakers at the event maintained that religious preachers, irrespective of faith, must be moderate and refrain from deliberate misinterpretation of the scriptures.
The problem really are from the leaders of both faiths. I think preachings are now being more laced with either politics or mundane purposes rather than the pure puritanical religious interpretations.
Jama'at Nasrul Islam says promoting mutual respect and sincerity in preaching must remain sacrosanct.
The first dimension, that of the family institution, which is supposed to really take in the imperatives of that institution of having to build their words based on the co-religious values of peace.
The Kaduna State government recently inaugurated a committee to monitor and regulate religious preachings in worship centers. A research project that aims at tackling hazardous waste emanating from tannery industries is being developed by Bayero University, Kano, in collaboration with its development partners. Team leader of the project, Professor Ibrahim Rufai, at a training for students and members of the academia, says development research will, in addition to finding solutions to challenges of waste management, promote safety and economic development. Ali Adamu reports.
Industrial waste remains one of the nation's perennial challenges, which poses threat to both humans and their environment. Effluent from tanneries usually gets its way into rivers, causing havoc to aquatic life, as well as farm produce irrigated using such waters. Members of the academia and other stakeholders at this training are brainstorming on a project which seeks to address this challenge and encourage others to develop research that could be beneficial to both the industry and society.
Bioreactor we have developed is going to work on thermophilic mode. Thermophilic mode means it will require heat to process the waste. And this heat that we provide will contribute in even upgrading the quality of the waste after digestion. So we get gas, which will have economic potential, and we'll get a biofertilizer, we also have secondary potential.
A synergy between industry and the academia, discussants insist, is what Nigeria needs to be on the path of industrial development.
This is the right time to come together and see how we can assist each other. So there are a lot of ways in which the industries, the researchers in the university, and the community can shake hands in relation to development matters in the country.
The feat achieved so far was the result of collaboration between students, industry staff, and supervisors of the collaborating organizations. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And with that report, Ayo, take it away from here.
Thanks, Suleiman, in our Kaduna Network Center. Back here, let's tell you that stakeholders in the All Progressives Congress are advocating continuity in the laudable developments and successes achieved by the current administration and are already working to ensure sustainability. To this end, the Tinubu Support Group Steering Committee at inauguration unanimously decided that President Muhammadu Buhari has positively impacted the nation through his 3-point agenda and needs someone to consolidate them. Salihu Abdullahi Guanara reports.
It is a strategic gathering that brought together supporters of the All Progressives Congress from within and outside the country with a common vision to streamline the activities of various support groups. The Director General of Tinubu Support Groups, Umar Mohammed, said the steering committees for the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory are to focus on boosting support mobilization for Ahmed Bola Tinubu within the All Progressives Congress stakeholders and beyond.
We have painstakingly and consciously undertaken to observe, study and critically analyze the challenges confronting the nation.
The solution is to look for a candidate who has demonstrated the capacity for solving socio-economic and political problems.
What the present government has started and what the present government is doing under President Muhammadu Buhari, it will be disastrous if we don't have somebody who can continue that journey to consolidate and take us to even greater heights.
The World Congress, State Congress, the next one is national. By then, we are going to do the National Congress and enter into politics fully. So it is very important now that we'll have the structures.
This whole activities out here is to bring synergy to make sure that President Muhammadu Buhari leadership is being sustained.
The group says working towards building and promoting the goodwill of the APC-led government is a task for all. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
20 Nigerian students at master's and PhD levels are currently on special scholarship, courtesy of the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, in conjunction with the private sector to push for the transfer of innovative science and technology into the country. This was made known by the Director General of NOTAP during oversight of the House Committee on Science and Technology. John Yaku has more.
This collaborative effort of NOTAP is technical and strategic for the training of Nigerians to import foreign expertise that will help develop the nation. This has become necessary given the urgent need for improved technologies to impact the nation's economy while protecting patent rights of Nigerian citizens.
The idea is that by the time they are fully completed, it's like they are ready for commercialization. So we are bringing the academia and the industry together.
Chairman of the committee maintains that the oversight is a response to the need to build a sound economy of Nigeria through science and technology.
This oversight visit is beyond ascertaining the agency's compliance and implementation of 2021 budget, but is also a moment of brainstorming on how to translate the work of NOTAP.
The committee inspected the ongoing work on the office building before its next visit to Sheda Science and Technology Complex in Gwagwalada. It is a national coordinating center for research in physics, chemistry, microbiology, and atomic energy.
One other major problem we have been having, which we would also like the National Assembly to help us, is our manpower.
Members of the committee made demand on the agency to show its research findings and innovations for full commercialization.
Categorically, some areas we've been able to discover this, we are the vital discovering new things.
The committee appraised the budget performances of the two agencies and urged them to be prudent in the management of their resources. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
If you like the tech, then take it. This is the scenario that played out at the 41st edition of GITEX held at the World Trade Center in Dubai, where over 200 startups and innovators redefined the latest trends and showcased innovations from across the world. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson lets us in on what technologies Nigerian startups came to the show with, as it describes it as a tech hive of activities.
Every stand you see in this building has something unique to offer, particularly to solve a certain problem. From AI to 5G, quantum computing, immersive marketing, fintech, blockchain, cybersecurity, the list seems inexhaustible.
The Nigerian startups also came bearing solutions to some problems with their innovative products, as they're engaged stakeholders in the prospects and what their technologies portend for the nearest future.
Farmers in Africa are
faced with the problem of financial exclusion. So we created AgriCoin to solve that problem by partnering with the major stakeholders within the agricultural value chain.
Basically, Breathing Space seeks to provide online mental health services. We know that right now in Nigeria, 1 in 4 Nigerians are suffering from this out. So Breathing Space seeks to provide access to support and counseling services.
My product is Chopwork Marketplace. At Chopwork, we're trying to solve two major problems. The first problem is unemployment.
Allow Invest is a digital platform to access ethical financial products and services.
Toll is a transportation app whereby we're able to solve the problem of one chance, as is popularly called in Nigeria.
So EduVR is a virtual reality solution for education that allows students to visualize what they're being taught in the classroom.
Changing the narrative.
As they share ideas, learn and unlearn, the hope expressed here is that technology should be driven in such a way that it makes the world so much a better place. From the World Trade Center in Dubai, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Our next stop on Nationwide is Ibadan, and Kemi is our guide. It's over to you, Kemi. Good to see you.
See you too, Ayodeji, and welcome to Ibadan. Beneficiaries of the 774,000 jobs created by the federal government across all local government areas nationwide under the Special Public Works in Oyo State have expressed gratitude to the government for enhancing their economic capability. Correspondent Shola Wahid has the report.
To create job opportunities and lift people out of extreme poverty, the federal government of Nigeria employed 1,000 people from 774 local government areas of the country for a period of 3 months. Officials of the National Directorate of Employment on Impact Evaluation of the program visited some local authorities where federal government effort was appreciated.
Just a program designed by the federal government to mitigate the effect of the pandemic, that is the COVID-19, on the citizens of Nigeria. We are conducting the impact evaluation of the program. This will enable us to know where we can make improvements.
The participants who actively engaged in community-based services expressed their gratitude to the federal government.
I really commend the federal government for a program that was brought here.
I actually appreciated the federal government because, one, it's a program or a project that makes our environment to be clean.
It is expected that the beneficiaries will migrate from transient job phase to a sustainable and self-reliant status to reduce mass unemployment. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Comptroller Nigeria Customs Service Oyo Command has reiterated commitment of the command to rid the states of smugglers and enhance the economy for the nation. He made this known while handing over a seized petrol tanker to the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Ibadan. Shola Wahid again has the details.
Barely few weeks after officers of the Nigerian Customs Service Oyo Command seized 2 trailers that tried to smuggle fuel in polythene bags, another tanker with 33,000 liters of petrol was seized while trying to smuggle the PMS out of the country. While handing over the seized tanker to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the controller of the command stressed that the Nigerian Customs will always do what is required by law to ensure that the activities of smugglers are curtailed.
I would like to take this opportunity to make a sound note of warning to saboteurs of this great country, Nigeria, that we officers of the Nigerian Customs Service will not relent on our drive to eliminate smuggling within the state in consonance with relevant sections in the Customs and Excise Management Act.
We assure you that due diligence will be carried out and due process will be followed thoroughly in the course of prosecuting the suspects.
Commended officers of the command for their gallant efforts at all times and pledged to always synergize with relevant security agencies in the state. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Time for another break. And Chineye in Enugu will take more reports on Nationwide.
For example, has succeeded a great deal in sensitization during the pandemic, and we have found the community mobilization officers most effective in the sensitization and in the advocacy campaigns, creating awareness on the coronavirus pandemic. We have done this through the production of jingles, which were very widely distributed in different languages, in English, in Hausa, in Yoruba, in Igbo, in Tiv, in Igala, in Kanuri, in Fulfulde, in Ijo, in Isoko, in Bini. In talk of any other language you can think of, we had translated sensitization messages.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Arise, O Nigerians! Let's applaud the courage of Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo, aka the Aggressor, for his skillful and dogged escape from the bloodthirsty bandits in the forest of Zamfara State. 3 hearty cheers also to all military and security personnel who are tirelessly protecting fellow Nigerians from insurgency and banditry while maintaining peace and order. Nigerians are proud of Abayomi Dairo and all our gallant men and women in uniform for sacrificing so much to keep us safe. We admire your courage and we say thank you. God bless the armed forces. God bless Nigeria. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
For staying on, welcome to Enugu. The security challenges witnessed in some parts of the country, especially in the southeast zone, has necessitated a security summit, which is at the instance of the Police Community Relations Committee Southeast Zone. Mina Adobiu-Kobase reports that the summit also culminated into awarding individuals who have contributed to peaceful coexistence in the zone.
The summit seeks pertinent answers in a bid to find lasting solutions to the ailing security situation in the Southeast Zone.
There's no gain destroying ourselves, our environment, our economy. We should engage. And government should also beef up discussion channels, open up channels of discussion with the youths of Southeast.
In the first lecture delivered by retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, elements like cultism, secessionist activities, proliferation of arms, economic sabotage, among others, were fingered as major causes of insecurity bedeviling the region.
While the existence of these groups not only threatens the security and territoriality of the Nigerian state, it also constitutes economic sabotage with its threats to the commercial and industrial sectors of the southeastern economy.
Second lecture titled Abstract Ways to Beef Up Security in the Southeast Zone, National Advisor to Police Community Relations Committee, Dr. Gosta Mokafo, hammered on sound policy and ideology, job creation and active engagements of youths, use of alternative dispute and conflict resolutions as abstract ways to beef up security in the Southeast Zone. In attendance to the summit were representatives of State Correctional Center, NDLEA, Police, Road Safety, DSS, among other security agencies. Some prominent Nigerians were also awarded for their contributions towards peaceful coexistence in the zone. In Enugu, Minna Adobiu-Kobase, NTA News.
Towards enlightening members of the public on the negative impact of some human acts on the environment, A one-day workshop for journalists on environment for development has held in Enugu State. The event, held at the Resource and Environmental Policy Research Center, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, was to discourage acts like deforestation. Environment is said to be the only means of livelihood, hence the need for all to manage it well. It is against this backdrop that this workshop on environment development was organized for journalists across the country. Vice Chancellor, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, venue of the workshop, received key players on environmental policy research and urged them to come up with environmental researches that will help discourage deforestation and other human acts affecting the environment.
I want to talk about deforestation will mean removing trees and vegetation that were graciously given to us by the Almighty God, knew what it was, the purpose they will serve. And these are the things we are removing without caution, and they cause us a lot of problems.
Journalists were taken through by various speakers on processes of reporting environmental issues.
The key message is that the environment is our only means of livelihood. And if we don't manage it well, it may create a problem for us. And it's already creating problems. But if we manage it well, it is a life-sustaining system.
The aim of all this is to drive development, reduce poverty, ensure strive towards gender equity, and help manage environment. So, and as it is, our research currently we're focused on different issues: flooding, plastic pollution, things relating to climate change, climate smart agriculture, and different things.
Challenges of environmental reporting and the need for the media to help in bringing the message to the people were deliberated in Enugu. And those are the stories from Enugu. It's back to Ayodeji in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thanks, Chinenye. Let's tell you that Ebonyi State Police Command says attack on Oana Divisional Headquarters in Afikpo North Local Government Area Sunday morning was successfully repelled. A statement by the police public relations officer, Lovett Oda, says the attackers, numbering about 35, suspected to be members of IPOB and ESN, shot sporadically at the policemen on duty who repelled the attackers, leading to the death of one and injury of many, including the recovery of 2 AK-47 rifles and other incriminating items, while a police officer sustained injury from the gun duel. Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Ebonyi State, CP Aliyu Garba, has since embarked on an on-the-spot assessment of the division, ordering manhunt on the fleeing hoodlums and appealed to law-abiding citizens of the state to volunteer useful information that will assist the command in the investigation. Police investigation revealed that the deceased suspect had been on the police wanted list for various attacks on police stations, and one of the recovered AK-47 rifles has been identified to be the rifle stolen from Oahuku Police Division early this month. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have apprehended a 35-year-old nursing mother at the Edo State Command headquarters of the agency while trying to smuggle 13 grams of loud cannabis sativa into the cell for a suspect in custody. The substance was concealed inside cassava balls meal, aku, meant for the suspect, also a relation. The 35-year-old is one out of the 10 suspects arrested during nationwide operations by the NDLEA, which also led to the seizure of over 2.6 tons of illicit substances to include heroin, methamphetamine, cannabis, tramadol, and Refnol, with Edo State recording the highest seizure of 1.7 tons of cannabis. As part of efforts to close the gap of socio-economic disparities suffered by persons with disabilities, a new document on tertiary education curriculum has been developed to promote inclusiveness and entrench a balanced society. Abubakar Usman Okwanga reports that this came to the fore during presentation of researched documents by experts.
The plight of disabilities are enormous, and the push to reduce the boredom continues to gather momentum and the commission responsible for changing the narrative is adopting reforms on tertiary education to expand its curriculum.
This curriculum is going to facilitate better understanding, better relationship, better fusion between students with and those without disabilities. It is a strong belief that with this document, when implemented, we're going to have an inclusive society.
The experience we shared, I'm putting them into this book here. No amount of money can pay, but we must make sure that we do the best we can be able to do in our effort to change the perspective in Nigeria. We are totally committed to making Nigeria a country for all citizens, including persons with disabilities.
These physically challenged are scholars drawn from various institutions of higher learning across the country and are being honored as brains behind the feat achieved. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
For sports updates, it's over to Amanzi Marcus.
Members of the House of Representatives Committee on Sports are not happy with the state of the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium in Ibadan and have vowed to work together with the executive arm of government to ensure the edifice wears a new look. During an inspection of the facility, the legislators told correspondent Lanre Beleyi that all hope is not lost towards a restoration of the stadium.
Between November and December, which is a cycle of 2 months, this place wear a new look, and the grassing we also wear a new look.
Children cannot come here to learn field event, do 100 meters, do 200 meters, 400 meters and co, to be able to represent this country or to even become professionals, so to earn an income. So we're also telling those in the ministry, and the National Assembly is very willing to ensure that we partner with the ministry to make provision so that athletics can also be well taken off.
We are going to make sure within the next 1 week we completed the procurement process. The contractor will move to site immediately. By end of December, we are assuring the National Assembly and the whole nation that this place will wear a new look.
In grassroots football, the 5th edition of the My Lafia Peace and Unity football competition kicked off weekend in Daddare, Obi local government of Nasarawa State. FC Lafia and Chokali Babes played a 1-1 draw in the opening match, and 16 teams from 5 local governments in Nasarawa South Senatorial District are competing.
Initially, there was no plan to exceed the 1st edition, but having seen the talent and also having seen the success we achieved by bringing peace to the community, we decided to say let's forge ahead and have more of the championship.
In athletics, Letesembet Gidi of Ethiopia on Sunday emerged champion of Valencia Half Marathon Trinidad Alfonso in style by smashing the women's world record to win in 1 hour, 2 minutes, 52 seconds. The 23-year-old shaved more than a minute off the previous